Won't you be my peace? They couldn't take your place, baby. Star 927. And everywhere you go. Yeah.
Watler and Hislop are the workhorses of the worksite. Earth moving, heavy equipment services, or rentals. Here to ensure your foundation will always be the strongest. 24-hour septic services, deep well drilling, auger cast piling, concrete pumping. We get our hands dirty, doing great work for great people. Can you dig it? Contact Watler and Hislop today at equipmentservices.ky or call 949-4880.
We will rock you.
Until March 31st, CUC's subcontractors will be conducting tree trimming between 9 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. from Hearst Road in Savannah to Northwood. Motorists should exercise caution due to temporary lane blockages. Landowners, it is your responsibility to maintain the vegetation on your properties to avoid future tree trimming costs. Reminder, do not trim vegetation within 10 feet of power lines. For more information, contact 949-5200 or email service@cuc.ky.
No matter where you are or where you're going, you deserve to be in control of your freedom. Introducing the new Cayman National online banking and mobile app experience. Enjoy quick and safe access with facial recognition and fingerprint login. Transfer funds and pay bills with ease. Sign up for online banking today and download our new mobile app available in the App Store and Google Play Store.
Looking for service at your fingertips? You can have that with Island Heritage. You don't have to leave home to access your personal insurance or pension information. At islandheritageinsurance.com, you can request an insurance quote or make your insurance payment using your credit or debit card. If you're looking to access your pension information, you can get that too. Simply log on to our pension portal for convenient access to your documents, statements, and payments. Visit us online today at islandheritageinsurance.com.
Let's get it. Connect to the culture.
Yeah, number one. No one could do it better. Star 927.
No one could do it better. It's us, Star 92.7 premium content. And yes, it is the best time of the week. This is what I call valuable radio. We're putting you through med school 1 week at a time. Yeah. In overview, in a very, very broad overview. In a couple of weeks ago, I dabbled in cardiology. Then I stepped up to neurology. I've gotten some information on gynecology, and today we're doing an advanced class in sales and marketing. Yeah, because in the studio we have Shamari Scott, and also we'll dabble. We'll go into a little bit of cancer research, Shamari, just to break it apart, because we have the consultant. Say oncology. I don't know if it was my notes or if it was my brain, but it's oncology. The study of cancer. Guys, how are you? Shamari and Dr. Binoy, how are you guys doing?
Well, we're good, and just to mention that even though obviously Dr. Vineetha is Dr. Vineetha Binoy, everybody will know her as Dr. Vineetha.
Oh, right.
Just due to the fact that the other Dr. Binoy that they know is, you'll meet him shortly if you have not, would be Dr. Binoy, who is the cardiothoracic surgeon as well as the clinical director and our lead at Health City.
Oh no, Dr. Vineetha, you're right. You have to choose your name. And brand, repeat. So just like how Health City has now become the go-to for anything to do with cardiology, the moment I think of the heart, Health City is there. So you guys are stepping out into many fields, oncology being one of them. And cancer is
just to correct you, but just to say that Health City has had many fields from the beginning. All right. So when we say stepping out, one and foremost, just based on the fact that we have 24 hospitals and embedded units across India, one of the largest healthcare networks in India being Narayana, the parent company. We have all of the medical services across our hospitals, and we take the best from each of the hospitals and then we in the Cayman Islands at Health City get the benefit of those professionals here. And Dr. Vineetha was with us from inception. And it's 7 years now that the oncology offerings have been with the Cayman Islands. But the new important component is we always listen. And you want to talk about marketing, we'll talk about research. And when we listen to our customers, 70% of our customers, right, our patients, live and work, right? Well, 70% live in the Georgetown 7 Mile Beach area. 90% will work and live in that area because everybody goes to town, you know that. So one thing that we heard is that obviously, even though it's just down the road, the proximity of going back and forth, and when you're looking at treatments such as oncology, and we'll go through the full suite of treatments, a 40-minute journey there to have a treatment, another 40-minute journey backwards to go back to either work and or where you live. It's a little bit of an inhibiting factor, and we listened, and the fact that we're bringing the hospital within your reach, this was definitely one of the first areas before the hospital is actually built that we knew our patients would get the benefit of proximity. And that's why Dr. Vineetha, who always thinking about her patients, made sure to push it so that we got this suite within Camana Bay before the actual hospital is built. And we only look forward to obviously being able to treat all of our patients based on the many different modalities that Dr. Vineetha will be able to go into.
I agree that as a Caymanian, I'm spoiled, right? That everything is 5 minutes away. That's how I look at, like you said, anywhere in Georgetown, in my mind is 5 minutes. At the same time, we are also living in unfortunate time schedules. We all arrive to work at around 8:39. We all have to go to lunch at 12. And then everybody gets off at 5, and then the kids get off at 3. So it is nearly impossible for everybody to get everything done at the same time. It's actually it's borderline insanity that that we're still doing this in 2022 instead of spreading it out. But we can't control that. So Health City is bending to your wishes, and you guys have opened up a brand new suite at Camana Bay. So Dr. Binoy, Dr. Vineetha, sorry, Dr. Binoy, we're going to cancel that right now. The star of the show, Dr. Vineetha. Cancer seems to be that area of of medicine and the study of medicine that still is tripping doctors up. It's the one that it's very hard to put an exact science to. It's very hard to put your finger on it, and it's probably the most. I would assume it's probably one of the most challenging fields to be in. Are you stressed at work, or do you think that you have a good understanding of cancer as a whole? What are you thinking?
I believe, I agree to some extent that oncology is a very challenging field, not just in terms of treatment options. So whatever people perceive cancer as a death sentence, but I have to tell you that it's no longer so. Like, we have come a long way ever since the time I was in med school. We have a lot of new treatment options apart from the standard chemotherapy and radiotherapy. But, the crux of the issue, treatment of cancer, is early detection. So early detection saves lives. So you can save a life, or you can cure a cancer if it's stage 1 or 2. But if it goes beyond that, then, cure might become little less. The chances of a cure might be little less, or sometimes even not possible. So the crux of the matter is that in cancer, early detection saves lives. And of course, when it comes to advanced or incurable cancers, we have a lot of, as I said, new drugs, new treatment options, modalities that help patients live longer with a good quality of life.
No, you're right. The word is scary. That's what that's why people don't come to get checked out, because of the fear of hearing that word and everything that comes along with it. Oh, now I have to go into medications. Now I have to worry about insurance. And it's mostly your pocket. People are really afraid of spending money. So in some ways they're linked. But Well, what I'm trying to understand is, at what period in human history did we realize this disease is called cancer? This person did not die from quote unquote old age. This person uh, was diagnosed by a doctor. How long have we had the ability to really study this illness?
Well, evidence of cancer has been found even in Egyptian mummies. So they found, partially disfigured faces with the rest of the, body having bits of cancer in it. So it's not like cancer has been there for time immemorial, I would say. But, it was only at the turn of last century that we came to know much about how a cancer forms, like that is a mutation of the cell and all that. And a lot of work has gone into in Dana-Farber, in the States and various parts of the world. And we came to realize that a cancer is caused by a mutation in a cell. But there has been evidence of cancer and historically too, of people having tumors and all that in all over the world documented.
So are we all susceptible? Each of us. I mean,
Yeah.
I've heard that we all have cancer cells, and that our body essentially takes care of them, breaks them down, kills them. So is first of all, is that correct?
Yeah, so there's something called, a mutated cell. I mean, all of us have mutated cells in the body. Mutation is a change in the DNA, an irreversible change in the DNA. So all cells have DNA, which is the genetic material inside the nucleus. Going back to biology.
And this is random. This is
This
not to
is-
say that a child at 2 years old also has cancer cells, and the person who has smoked their whole life at 75 enjoyed a life of partying. Everybody is equal in the sense that it's just about how our bodies are dealing with this.
Yeah, not everybody is equal. So these mutations, some of them are inherited, some of them are acquired, the predisposition to cancer. But most of the cancers happen as a result of mutations that we acquire later in life. That's why one of the biggest or the most important risk factor for cancer is not smoking, it's aging. So, each decade that you live longer, your chances of getting a cancer is about 3 times higher, whatever cancer it is.
Look at Shamari. Shamari looking young, Yeah, man.
That's why we try to make sure we're young, right?
Shamari, he's on. That's what he's doing over Health City, working on this in the back. That's what you guys working on, reversing the aging. So we're essentially getting sucked down. Have you ever seen this video of fighter pilots at Mach 2, Mach 3, and they're under the force of heavy G's? You can see what gravity does to the body in a matter of like 15 seconds when they hit the plane, right? I mean, you see the wrinkles form, you see the face change shape, and then when the plane releases and you get back to cruising speed, you're back to looking normal. So the Earth is pulling us into itself. We're under the course of gravity. Radiation is hitting us every day. The sun is out. So all of these forces are working against us. Am I
Right.
going off or? No,
Well,
you-
mostly all of these work for us. But, the sun, of course, we can't live without the sun. But, if you go out and stay in the sun for long, the UV rays might cause a mutation in a skin cell. And if your body is not able to repair that mutation, it could become a cancer.
Well, it was just, I don't know, Shamari might be able to help me. Maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I don't know when the schools started to implement hats for PE as a part of the school policy. But when I was growing up, that wasn't the case. And I just in regular conversation, it feels like it is hotter than it was when I was a child. Whether that's due to global warming, whether that's something that we are just bringing up in conversation because of the talk about global warming, but and skin cancer, like the makeup lines are starting to include sunblock in women's foundation. So there seems to be some awakening to the reality. And then in Cayman, this is 24 every day. We're getting these poor construction workers. You see them on the roofs working up there. They're battling more than just concrete. Doctor, skin cancer in Cayman, is this something that you're seeing that is on the rise? Is this something that is
What I mean,
a very common type of cancer?
Yeah, it is common, but the good news is, like, with awareness is a key, right? I mean, there's a lot of awareness about skin cancer, and we have dermatologists who do an annual skin cancer screening. The best thing about skin cancer, it is on the surface with just a good inspection or examination, you can detect them very early. So most people over the age of 50, especially if they're Caucasian, they do have sun damage and they do have early cancers. But if they make a regular visit to the dermatologist and they do what's called a mole mapping or, a detailed skin examination, they just get picked up and they just get removed. And it's just an office procedure and, nothing happens. It's very early skin cancer. So we see a lot of that in the elderly population here.
So if you have a spouse, maybe you have your daughter or your son, maybe you want to have them just to maybe take a little picture of the mole that is on your back that you have not gotten checked out. Maybe you could attach it in an email and send it over to info@healthcity.ky. Maybe you want to call 640-4040 and just ask for a consultation with Dr. Vineetha.
You've done your homework, man.
What?
But did you watch the surgeon's cut? That was the other homework.
Okay, so for those
seeing as we were talking about school and hats, it brought me back to the homework days. Matt.
Yeah.
Where's your homework?
you would you like to join the rest of my teachers? They would all say this: Matthew talks too much. Matthew. So when you go home this evening and you're going to watch Netflix, as you do, I just encourage you, Cayman. We have a celebrity that is on Netflix, Dr. Shetty. It's called The Surgeon's Cut. So when you go to your
episode 4,
so start it up, hit the search menu, and just type in Surgeon's Cut. You could type in Dr. Shetty, whatever it is, it will come up. Put it on your watch list. And Shamari, to your point, I have not, because my assignment came in just before I walked in to the door. But I'm going to watch it.
Your reminder with the link came in before you walked to the door, but your assignment was given last Monday, and we have recorded evidence. So
okay, so I will watch it, and the listeners will also watch it.
Please.
So the next time when we come together, we're gonna do some Q&A on The Surgeon's Cut.
Definitely.
And there's the body. There's bone cancer. We were talking about skin cancer. There's tumors in the brain. Is there any area of the body that is free from cancer or the risk of cancer?
Not really. They used to say that the heart tissue is relatively resistant to mutations, but we do find cancers in the heart as well. So it's a myth that, like any cell, right? Any cell can get mutated.
And so we're as we grow, we're constantly obviously generating new cells. Some of those are cancerous. So your body. So if I ingest vitamins and a certain type of minerals, if I drink sea moss and I take my natural herbs and roots, am I supposed to be able to fight these cancer cells that are already in my body better than the person that doesn't?
Well, you having a healthy diet, a healthy lifestyle definitely helps, but there is no superfood that would entirely prevent cancer. So you can have, just a balanced diet, maintaining a healthy body weight, that's more important. Getting your regular dose of physical activity and staying off, bad habits, as smoking, excess of alcoholism, let me put it that way. Those kind of, activities would probably protect to some extent. I would say about 20 to 25% of cancers could be prevented in some way or the other by these interventions. So that's a significant number, but still, you might be very healthy, you might be doing everything right, but still get cancer.
And you could also, we've all seen cases of the grandmother that has smoked her whole life, and she's still fine. She's still sitting on her porch smoking, and it's a big question mark. So 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2, and it's pushed in our face. You turn on your social media, alcohol is pushed in your face. They do a great job at marketing. Shamari, please don't join the crew, okay? Stay with Health City. Smoking, vaping, everything, and it's categorized with fun. So you're telling the human population, listen, stay away from all of this fun. It probably won't happen. So I encourage everybody to get checked out. You say early detection is the key. It's better to how go no sorry go ahead.
For every that grandma that you said, smoking on the porch at 80, for every one grandma like that, there are 9 others who have various kinds of cancers. So, I wouldn't buy that
They're
or
not on the
sell
porch
that.
anymore. Big up, grandma.
And Matthew, one thing that we sorry, Matt.
No,
Matt.
No, it's Dr. Vineetha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matt.
First name, man. Go ahead.
Just also wanted to discuss with Dr. Vineetha, because by having the infusion suite, anytime the regular public thinks of a chair infusion oncology, they think of chemo. But we have a wide array of different treatments. So I was wondering if Dr. Vineetha could just go through some of the other treatments and what would be used as obviously methods to help with the various cancers that we're doing at Health City and now within our Camana Bay suite.
Well, chemo is scary, and I'm all ears, because there is a stereotype that's mixed with becoming weak, losing your hair, weight loss, and if there's other alternatives, enlighten us, Dr. Vineetha.
Yeah, so about 20 years ago, we had only 3 modalities of treatment for cancer. The first one is surgery, of course. Then we have chemotherapy and radiation. But over the last 2 decades, I would say the advances in technology, science, and especially molecular biology, has led us to understanding that cancers are caused by mutations. Not all cancers are the same and cannot be treated the same way. This includes even the same type of cancer. For example, breast cancer. There are about at least 4 major subtypes of breast cancer. So somebody has a cancer, breast cancer, I would not treat patient A with the same treatment as B. So it's very important that we know that apart from chemo, those 3 that I mentioned, there are several new kind of treatments. Some of them are what we call targeted therapy. So targeting specific mutations or genes in a cancer, or molecular markers, antigens on a cancer. We have immunotherapy, which is another major breakthrough in the treatment of cancer for the last 5 years. That's making people live much, much, much longer, even with stage 4 cancer. So immunotherapy makes use of your own immune cells, activates your own immune cells to fight and kill the cancer, rather than just acting as a cell poison, which is what chemotherapy does.
Okay, just I'm curious about the immunotherapy. So my body, you're ramping up my own protection system.
Yeah.
So do I have to wait on, because if I have a healthier immune system, wouldn't I be better off at fighting off all diseases? Can I just is this only when you have a cancer like stage 3, stage 4, or is that something that the general public should be doing to prevent cancer?
Yeah, not really, because what cancer does is when it takes roots in your body, it suppresses through chemicals and some of the molecules that it secretes, what you call interleukins, cytokines. It kind of suppresses our body's natural immunity, and the cancer itself hides from the immune surveillance system. So just like there is a surveillance system for bacterial viral infections, we also have what we call a cancer surveillance system, which gets totally suppressed by the tumor that's sitting in your body. So the immunotherapy, what it does, it just blocks, so puts a brake on, it just releases the brake on the immune system, which the cancer has brought about. So the cancer puts a brake on your immune system. Immune therapy releases that brake. So your immune cells get activated and then fights the cancer.
And if you're just joining us, we're sitting in the studio with Dr. Vineetha and Shamari Scott, and we are going through, I'm just picking her brain about a typical work day. And she is from the qualified team down there at Health City. And congratulations on opening up your new branch. So if I was to go to Camana Bay, would I typically get to see Dr. Vineetha, or is it that she is in East End most days? Tell us about the new side, and like you said, avoid going to East End. how would I make an appointment with Dr. Vineetha?
Yes, so we have a suite, a daycare suite at East End as well. I mean, that's what we started off. We have a 5 chaired suite, onco suite in East End. And we now have the newest suite facility in Kamana Bay has 3 chairs. And I have a junior colleague, oncologist. So between us, we split our time between East End and Kamana Bay. And my nursing team too, there are 4 nurses, highly qualified oncology nurses who split their time between the 2 centers. So right now, I mean, since February 1st, we are open in both centers, offering the treatment in both, whether it is chemotherapy, immunotherapy, hormone therapy. We also do supportive services like antibiotic injections, blood transfusions, and there are so many other medications that we would give as supportive treatment for cancer patients that we provide in both facilities. But the suite at Kamana Bay was open just on, I would say, patient demand. So given that a lot of my patients were coming from West Bay and Georgetown, that as Shamari said, the 40-minute drive back and forth, and you can't imagine someone who has been whole day getting chemo, going back. They're tired and they need to get a ride. And I've had patients from West Bay coming to the hospital as early as 7 o'clock because they need a drop. Their spouse has to go to work after this. So the spouse brings the patient at 7 o'clock to our hospital and the patient gets the chemo. The chemo is only about 4 hours, but he waits till the end of the day for her to come all the way to pick him up and drive him back. And this is all in the midst of traffic. So it's like, it's so difficult for them. So
can you just take off a bit of the veil? Because if there's somebody out there who has a fear of getting checked out and maybe they found a lump, maybe they for whatever reason, they don't want to hear the words, just break it down. Okay, worst case scenario, ma'am, we have found a lump. We suspect it is cancerous. We're going to take a sample and
it's a biopsy. Yeah,
take a biopsy. Okay, the lab result said yes, it is. We recommend chemo treatment. It's going to be 4 hours for your treatment. What does that mean? You sit in a chair. You read a book. Tell me what does it involve getting chemotherapy?
Yeah, right. So, any kind of cancer, what you call infusions related to the cancer, it's basically most of them are done through intravenously. So there are some which are into the muscle sometimes, but most of them are intravenous. That means into a vein. And these are, when you say infusion, it's like given in a drip, mixed in saline or dextrose or some other solutions. And it goes over maybe depending on the drug, maybe an hour or 2 hours. And before all this, before they get the specific drugs, we also give a cocktail of what you call pre-medications to prevent nausea, vomiting, allergic reaction. So there's 3 or 4 different drugs that they get before they get the chemo. And they also get IV fluid so that the circulation gets going, you protect the kidneys, and there might be other medications. So it's a sequence of different medications. So it's not like you go into doctor's office and, get a vaccine, just a shot and out. Usually chemo infusions are longer, depending on how many drugs, what is the regimen, what is the cancer. So usually it could be anything between 1 hour to, sometimes 8 to 9 hours too.
And then this is weekly. If you're treating a patient, what's the average amount of chemo that somebody might have to go through before you say, you know what, we've gotten rid of it all. Have a good day.
So we call it in cycles. We call it cycles of chemo. So some cycles, some will come every week to get a drug. Some might come every 2 weeks, some 3 weeks, some a month. So it depends on what kind of drug, what regimen, and all that. So the bottom line is people come often, quite often, the doctors visit, and then they have to stay a long, variable amount of time. It makes, it's so difficult for someone in West Bay to come to East End to do that and, go back after. As such, they will be tired.
No, my life is already complicated. And it's just swimming on Saturday, picking up the kids, and the grandmother picks up the kids for a lot of it. So I can't shopping on Saturday. Why do I shop on Saturday? Honey, why do we shop on Saturday? Shamari, thank you for bringing on the Kamana Bay office. I think it's well received. Are you seeing walk-ins? Do you want people to make appointments? Do you want them to pop in? What would be ideal for Health City?
Well, you know, medicine isn't ideal and healthcare isn't ideal when you have an issue. So if there are people who need to walk in, they definitely come to our Commander Bay clinic. They wouldn't be walking into Dr. Vineetha based on her modality. However, if somebody was to walk in, we always make best efforts in order to see them. So from a Commander Bay perspective, the good news is that we're closer to our patients, and even better, we're open from 9 to 7, right? 6 days a week. So once again, we have a tagline that says within your reach, and Health City is always trying to bring on different additional services or expand our services so that we're closer to the people that we treat, in order to make their life easier, because the easier their life is, the more they can concentrate on the healing. It's always better for the patient. And even the suites, and we'll have a video shortly that we'll send to you and you can actually play as well. But we want to make sure people understand that this time we have natural light that's coming through the suites. You can have a companion with you. So you're talking about the time, you can have somebody there with you. And we're just making sure that everybody is as comfortable as possible with TV, etc., to be able to get the treatment that they need. And a lot of times it seems scary, but as Dr. Vineetha said, in the first instance, detection is key. And before working in a hospital, you don't really realize that, us, especially us men that never want to see a doctor. But if you see a doctor and they catch it early, the majority of ailments are curable or will give you a better standard of life moving forward. So detection is key. And after detection, treatment is the next thing, because some people will find out and delay treatment. And the more you delay, the less your chance for survival, or the less your chance to have the best lifestyle possible moving forward.
It seems that it's not as